girl got hella grades, okay? So if you're ever questioning the wisdom that I bring, just remember that. You need to stop being a work in progress. At some point, you need to become a work of art. That is the version of you that's gonna get whatever the hell you want and get it fast. 90 days from now, you are going to look back on who you were when you started this thing and not recognize that girl. 2025 is literally around the corner, and somebody told me that you are still becoming her instead of embodying her. Time is up. We literally have a week left, but don't worry, because this video is going to get you all the way together. A few months ago, I literally created a really cute guide on entering 2025 as a brand new bitch. And it was basically a 90-day reset that I have personally followed. Over the past 90 days, I've applied these exact steps in my own life, and I can say I have glowed up like never before, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I'm gonna be taking you through these 7 steps to entering 2025 as someone that you're really proud of. And looking back, it was actually rule number 6 that was the biggest game changer. So do not sleep on that one. Hello, my love. I'm your girl, Rima, your tough, loving, big sis who, as you can see from this video, takes her own advice. And you are now tuned in to another episode of Rima's Rules. This video is actually the final video in my Already Her series. We have a lot to catch up on, and 2025 is literally around the corner, so let's get it. Rule number 1 is to get laser focused on one goal. I am a true testament of how much in your life can change quickly when you actually get hyper focused. The only goal, and when I say the only, I mean the only goal that I set during our original 90-day reset was for me to lose 10 pounds. And let me just tell you, there were a lot of things that happened over the course of this 90 days that I was not anticipating. One of them was that I took a trip to London to be with family. It was kind of unexpected, but obviously an amazing thing. And then I went back and forth to New York a total of 3 times during this 90-day period for work. And now I'm in Minnesota. I don't even know when I'm going back to LA. And I've had literally no semblance of routine during this time. And I have been dropping weight. This has never happened in my life. If you know anything about me, I am a creature of habit. I very much so crave routine. I like my boring lifestyle where every day pretty much looks the same. That is just how I've always been. Because I got so attached to those routines in the past, I would find that when I had a stretch of time to get into that routine and build that momentum, I would start, achieving a lot of my weight loss goals. The second I had to travel, whether it was to Lebanon to visit family or unexpected little work trips here and there, I would always slowly start regaining my weight, especially during the holidays. And the fact that I have not done that, as a matter of fact, I would have been completely fine given all of this unexpected travel. If I just maintained my weight, I would have understood that that in itself was a win. But the fact that I have been dropping weight, like you can kind of tell, like my arm definition or even just my face definition looks so different from other videos. And even though I really owe you guys so badly an update on my In Those Jeans challenge, I'll just show you the before and after of like I didn't fit in the jeans at all. And now I completely fit in the jeans and they look damn good on me. And the fact that I've been able to achieve all of that during the time that was the busiest, most unexpected, and lacking in routine is not a coincidence. It is because I laser focused on one thing. One thing I said in that earlier video is that if you hyper focus on one goal, it doesn't mean everything else in your life needs to fall off. And I just want to say that I'm living proof of that too. Things have been freaking phenomenal in my life. And there's some things that I'll share with you as the months come. No, I'm not pregnant. Everybody calm down, because I feel like that's the first thing everyone, at least in my personal life, thinks about. But my relationship has been thriving. My career has been thriving. My feelings about myself have just been thriving. Getting on YouTube and creating, I've just felt so creative lately. Like there's just so much else that is thriving. And all of that was a side effect of me feeling good about the one thing I chose to focus on. So please, my love, as you think about the new year, give yourself permission to laser focus on just one thing. The thing that is absolutely, unequivocally the most important thing to you, and give yourself full permission to only measure your success from how well you are doing and tracking towards that thing every day. Rule number 2 is to stop becoming her and start embodying her. If you've watched any of my recent videos, you know how I feel about becoming her. I'm becoming this. Stop. We really don't have time. My love, homework is due, okay? We're waiting for your homework. You gotta submit the homework, okay? You need to stop becoming. You need to stop being a work in progress. At some point, you need to become a work of art. It is time for you to just embody this thing that you keep saying you want to become. And what was absolutely freaking huge for me a few months ago was creating a vision board very differently from how I had created vision boards in the past. I'm obsessed with vision boards. I keep joking that what Mariah Carey is to Christmas, I feel like that's me to New Year's. Like, I'm obsessed with thinking about goals and starting new and just like really envisioning something different for myself. And in the past, every single time I'd created a vision board, it was through the lens of what do I still not have that I want. This time, after taking my own advice of being already her, which was the theme of this vision board, I started putting things on my vision board that are things that I already have in my life that I just want to show gratitude for. And it was a beautiful symbolic reminder that there are so many things that I used to want that I have today. It takes a serious mindset shift for you to even take notice of what those things are in your life. Because if you've been operating in a lack mindset for a while, you might be like, well, Rima, that's just you. Like, it seems like you've been able to attract things, but there's not really anything in my life right now that I attracted. Girl, that's not true. And I know that. I don't even have to know you to know that. If you have a positive relationship with your family, that's something to be grateful for. If you are able to walk up a flight of stairs and have a healthy enough body to be able to do that, that is something to be so grateful for. If you wanted a specific freaking perfume, it could be something seemingly vain, and you have it on your counter, that's something to be grateful for. It can even be as simple as the freaking cup of coffee that you drink in the morning that gives you that beautiful feeling of joy and presence. I would urge you, as you look to make your vision board, because I know it's vision board season right now and I'm going to renew mine next week, I would love if at least half of what you put on that vision board are things that you already have. And the whole point of this is it is so much easier. And I truly believe that my success over the last 90 days can be attributed to what I'm about to say right now. It is so much easier to attract the things that you want and feel like you don't have when you are in the habit of being grateful for the parts of your life that already look like that. That in itself is the most accessible way to raise your vibration and raise your energy and emotions so that they can start attracting more of that. I was on a work call with someone recently about a goal that they had. Between our 2 calls, we had a call and then a month later we had another call. They had started to achieve a lot of what that goal was. But the version of them that I met with the month later, they couldn't even see that they were reaching the goal they talked to me about on the first call. They were still looking at where they hadn't arrived yet. And that is the most terrifying mindset to have, because you will get what you've always wanted and not even realize it. You will literally climb to the top of the mountain, and because there's another mountaintop in sight that probably wasn't even in sight when you were at the bottom of it, you will not even realize you are at the freaking top of a mountain, and you will not even honor yourself for all of the work and effort and intention that it took for you to climb that mountain. Right now, I want you to be grateful and take notice of all of the ways that you are already her. That is the version of you that's gonna get whatever the hell you want and get it fast. Rule number 3 is once you take notice of the ways that you are already her, I want you to celebrate those things. This has been one of my favorite parts of this journey. Once I started looking at all the things I've already done, I've already attracted, I already have, I already am, it has really helped me trust myself more. And I've actually really completely stopped looking at any metrics of success and instead focused on how I am feeling every day. Every day I look in the mirror and I love my body. And I'm not weighing myself. I genuinely couldn't tell you how much I weigh, but I just know that it's working because I feel so good. And I just feel like the girl that I put on my vision board. Same thing with YouTube. I know that wasn't the goal that I intended on, but I have since stopped looking at my metrics. I used to be the YouTuber who would kind of like refresh my subscribers to see how many subscribers I'd grown overnight. And I was having a conversation with my work wife. We were talking about my goals, how one of my goals was and still is my 100K plaque. Like that would be so exciting. I'd be so grateful for it. And I already feel like I'm showing up as the version of me that can attract that. But she was like, Rima, I don't think that's really your goal. She's like, I feel like your goal is more focused on the content itself. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's true. Like if I had 100K and nobody knew my name or my content wasn't inspiring people, that would not feel good. You're right. It's not just about the plaque. It's that the plaque would represent me having access to a large number of people in a specific way that I want to influence people. She's like, okay, well, tell me more about that. Like, how do you want to influence people? And I said it very clearly, okay? It was such a great activity, but I literally said, I want something that I share to be part of kitchen table conversation in people's homes. I want to share an idea, a perspective, a story that changes someone in that moment so much so that they want to share it with their family at their next dinner conversation. And that was so specific. And I shit you not, within 48 hours, I got so much confirmation in my personal life that I'm doing that, both on YouTube and in general. Like I had people literally tell me, I talked to my partner about you and I was like, this person really helped me think of things differently. And I was just getting inundated with confirmation that I am already her. Yes, amazing. If I get more views on these videos, for sure, I'm going to be able to scale that impact to more people, for sure. And I do want that. And I'm not ashamed of that. But instead of looking at the gap between the number that I'm at right now and, subtracting that from the number that I want, which is such a silly, overly simplistic way of looking at my goal, why can't I celebrate the ways that I'm already doing that so that I have this knowingness that if I'm doing it like this at this scale, can you imagine the impact I'm going to have at a larger scale? And I would encourage you to do the same. Celebrate, even if it's something that seems small to you. If you are somebody who takes the stairs instead of the escalator, and that is a way that you are already her, celebrate that. If you are somebody who is setting boundaries to ensure that you get the respect and love you deserve, and that is aligned with the powerful version of you that you want to embody, celebrate that. Take notice of the ways that you are already her. Celebrate that and watch what happens. Rule number 4 is obvious. It's to also observe the areas in which you are not being her. When you really visualize this version of you that you want to embody, you now have a frame of reference. You can compare this higher version of yourself with who you are currently being. And as you look to embody that, you obviously will start to notice the ways in which you are not being that. And instead of judging that, which is just not productive, just take notice of those things. I take notice of this stuff all the time. And let me tell you, none of us are perfect. And I still do things every single week that are very misaligned with my higher self. And now, because I trust myself so much, they don't feel threatening. I look at those things and I don't identify with them. Even as I'm doing them, I'm gonna be real with you. This morning I woke up. We have a TV in this room, which we don't have in LA. And instead of, getting up, getting my morning routine started, doing all the things that productive baddies are supposed to do, I turned on the last 2 episodes of The Ultimatum and I binged both episodes in bed and did not get my day started until later than I usually do. And instead of judging myself or talking down on myself for doing that, I kind of laughed inside at like, this ain't you, but cool, just like whatever. Are you gonna do that every day? No. But the fact that I can even look at something like that and be like, this is very uncharacteristic of you is the point. I am embodying her still. The fact that I can look at that behavior and not be like, well, yep, Rima will be Rima. No, I'm gonna be like, this is not you, girl, but do you and have fun, okay? Which is fine. And I allow myself to have those moments, especially because I've built myself to a point where the norm very much so matches who my higher self is. For example, my brother-in-law asked me randomly, like, do you want to go to the gym? I never say no anymore. The old me would think of 10 things that I would prefer to do other than go to the gym and then try to negotiate with myself like, well, if you record a YouTube video, then you won't feel as bad that you turned down the gym today. This version of me does not think twice. I don't even ask myself how I feel about going to the gym because the gym is my habitat. Like that is a natural decision for me to make, is to never turn down an opportunity to go to the gym. Never turn down an opportunity to go for a walk or get some extra steps in. And the fact that I have built that habit so deeply and it's so ingrained in me, it makes it more cute and fun and silly and almost laughable when I do those things that are uncharacteristic of me. I want you to get to the point where you're not shaming yourself. Definitely take notice. I'm not saying make excuses, and I'm not saying convince yourself that those things are helpful. Like, I'm not gonna kid myself into thinking it was so healthy for me to watch 2 hours of reality TV today instead of wake up and read and journal and do all the things that productive girls do. I'm not gonna lie to myself, but at the same time, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it either, because I know myself and I know how I typically operate, and it's actually very human and fun to sometimes rebel against the way that I typically operate. Rule number 5 is to set habits that feel exciting and aligned. I'm gonna be real with you. When I talked about this 90 days ago, it was just something that I was doing that I thought could be helpful for you. I had no idea how on point this piece of advice was. The only reason that I've been able to stick to my healthy habits amid all of this chaos in my life is because my habits are fun for me now. I want you to really, really take this one to heart. If something feels like there's resistance, if you say, I'm gonna start doing this, and you immediately feel resistance, if you say, I'm gonna sign up for Zumba classes and do that, and you feel resistance and it doesn't excite you, then that's probably not the way to go. The reason that excitement is such an important tool here is because if consistency is the name of the game, then it has to be something that actually is calling your name. I was not trying to rhyme, but we'll take it, okay? The point is, doing anything consistently, and I think I said this in my last video, like for me, anything other than breathing consistently for 90 days is hard. There is already built-in challenge in this, and challenge is okay. That's not the same as resistance. Challenge is okay, but understanding that this is already challenging, why not swim with the current? The current being your energy and excitement. Why purposely build in, resistance? Why try to swim upstream? Downstream? Why try to swim against the current if both of them are going to get you where you're trying to go? Wouldn't you get there much faster if you're already going with the natural flow of your excitement and energy? For me, I talked about how intermittent fasting kind of like came to my attention through me wanting to find something that excited me. And I tried it and I'm like, dang, I love this. And it's real when 90 days later, I am not only still doing it, but I'm even more excited about it. Like I haven't stopped being excited about how aligned this is for me. That was pretty much like, I really owe a lot of my success, if not most of my success, to the fact that I have stuck to intermittent fasting. And I could not have stuck to that if it wasn't something that felt aligned and exciting. Before I tried intermittent fasting, I was trying to force myself to track my calories. There was so much built-in resistance because I don't like doing anything consistently every single day. Like it's hard for me to do that. So even something as seemingly easy as pulling up my phone and trying to remember what I ate that day, it just didn't feel fun for me. And so I was not consistent with it. I would fall off of it. If I had tried to continue to force myself to do that, I really believe that with all of this travel and unpredictability in my life, which is typically a trigger for me, I would have completely fallen off and I would have spiraled into all of these bad habits. Having a structure like intermittent fasting in the unpredictability of all the travel and the different kinds of cuisines that we were trying and the different cities, and New York pizza is a thing and I was definitely eating that. But I was basically creating a structure that all of that unpredictability could live in, and that felt aligned, which is why it worked for me. And this is not an intermittent fasting ad. If you know me, you know what works for me is not always going to work for you. So that's why I'm focusing right now on excitement. My feet are falling asleep. So a recent example of this, because I'm still taking my own advice of following the fun, is we're in Minnesota for an extended period of time with family. And I really want to get a gym membership here because we're going to be spending a lot of time here. I used to work out every single day at F45 over the past few years. It was either Orange Theory or F45 or the occasional Pilates class. And something right now at this very juncture in my life, something about going back into a huge gym setting and getting my ass on the Stairmaster and taking really long at the gym, something about that is just calling my name. It just feels so exciting. It feels so fun. And so I'm following the fun, which brings me to rule number 6, which, like I said, is literally the rule that freaking changed everything for me. It changed everything for me. Okay, rule number 6 is give yourself permission to change your freaking mind. Please, Please do not be like my younger self. I'm literally begging you, where I would write out this like 90-day plan or 30-day challenge, and I'd have one goal, right? It was always about weight loss, but I would have like 10 little daily habits that I was gonna force myself to stick to. And whether I ended up successfully doing it or not is not even the point. There were times, I'm not gonna lie to you, where I was so in it and crazy that I would stick to those 10 daily habits every single day. I also am a product in the past of 75 hard. And if you know anything about that challenge, you literally have to do a set of things every single day. And if you miss even one of those little things every single day, including 2 freaking workouts, 1 outdoor, 1 indoor, then you have to start over. That was the life that I came from. I'm not here to shit on that and say that it's not impressive to be able to do something consistently every single day, or let alone do 20 things consistently every single day for weeks. It's about what the underlying energy is in that. It means you don't trust yourself. If you cannot trust yourself to change the way that you're getting to the same goal, that's not a good quality to start to build in yourself. If you need all the training wheels and all the structure to keep yourself in line, it feels very authoritative, which is very interesting because that was the upbringing that I had. I'm a child of immigrants. My family was very like strict about a lot of things. My internal narrator, I think, started reflecting the upbringing that I had, which was very strict and rigid and also very structured. My parents were extremely structured. Things had to get done by a certain amount of time. I was not allowed to watch TV on school days. And while I'm very grateful 100% for a lot of the structure, and while I probably will be embedding a lot of that structure into my future children's lives, as an adult, at some point, you need to trust yourself to change your mind and figure out what works. But when it came to my goals, I felt the need to create this intense set of rules, ironically, Rima's rules, but intense set of rules so that I had no room to fail. And now that I'm older and wiser, and your girl got hella grades, okay? So if you're ever questioning the wisdom that I bring to these conversations, just remember that, because I'm probably gonna get it touched up soon, but I want you to see it, okay? Now I know that allowing yourself to change course while still being laser focused on the same goal or same destination, allowing yourself to change course is a sign of deep self-trust. It's also just a sign of being smart, okay? I used the example before of AI. When you are talking to ChatGPT, which if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend just talking to ChatGPT about literally anything. And you insert a prompt of, hey, help me write this email. I'm talking to a client and I want to say this, this, and that. And she spits back something out to you. And you don't love what she spit back out, you're going to prompt her again, be like, okay, cool, but like I want the points that you're making to be in bullet points instead of in this. And then I also want it to be a little more friendly and concise. And then she will take that prompt and spit out usually something that looks way closer to what you actually want. Why treat yourself differently? Why treat your life and your goals differently? If after 30 days of trying a 90-day plan, you haven't learned something that makes you want to change course a little bit, then either you don't trust yourself, once again, or you're just doing it wrong. You should have learned something in the first couple of days that informs the way you want to do it. You want to do it better, you want to do it faster, you want to do it differently. Maybe you even freaking change the goal in itself because you've learned something on the way there. Or maybe you hit the goal way faster than you thought you would. And so now you want to challenge yourself to have a more ambitious goal. The whole point is none of this greatness can come from you being so rigid that you're afraid to change course. Let me tell you a few things that I've changed completely and abandoned completely on this 90-day plan. And had I not done that, I would not be in front of you today very proud, extremely proud of the progress that I've made. I told you guys in the last video,
I'm gonna be doing DEXA scans once a month.
Nope. Guess what? I had a scheduled DEXA scan. That morning I woke up, I was feeling a lot of the feelings that I talked about in other videos around self-sabotage, feeling like I don't want to see numbers, it's going to trigger me. And I just gave myself, because of how much I freaking trust myself now, I gave myself full permission to skip a DEXA scan, and admittedly one that I had already paid for. But I trusted myself enough to be like, you know what, whatever money I invested in this little appointment is not worth the aftermath of how I believe this will make me feel. I'm locked in, I know I'm gonna get there, I trust myself, and I don't need to see these little interim checkpoints to validate that. Instead, I just abandoned all metrics, and the only metric, literally the only 2 metrics that I look at right now are how I feel, and that's 99% of it. And the other metric I look at is how my clothes are fitting on me. And when I tell you, a week after canceling that DEXA scan, I randomly decided to start trying on a couple of things in my closet that literally had not fit me since I moved to LA in 2021. For years, they just collected dust in my closet. And I tried them on, and I was blown away at how easily they feel. Like I pulled them up so seamless. I was shook. There was actually a pair of pants in there that I had purchased. It was like a suit outfit. And I purchased it in 2023 for an event. And it was so small on me. I think like the size chart had me messed up. It was so small. Like it was one of those pants that you have to zip from the side. And the zipper was looking like a 90-degree angle, okay? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever lose this weight. So I meant to return it, and I completely missed the return cutoff. And so it just stayed in my closet, and I was gonna get rid of it because I'm like, this is just, I don't even know if I want to fit into this thing. When I tell you that bitch zipped up way too easily, and I was looking good in those pants, I was absolutely shook. And I would not have gotten there if I did not trust myself to change my mind about tracking calories, to change my mind about going to this DEXA scan, because it would have got me in my head and I would have started self-sabotaging. If I didn't trust myself to just keep doing what I was already doing without looking at the scoreboard every 2 seconds, if I did not trust myself to keep my head down and just keep doing what I knew in my heart was working, I guarantee you I would not have seen the day that those things zipped up the way that they did. So right now, same thing with the gym. I'm trusting myself. I don't need to go to F45 and do these intense classes if I don't feel like it. Sometimes I can if I want to, but I trust myself to get my ass back in the gym and be a gym baddie like I used to and feel good about that because that feels exciting and fun. And so I know I said I was going to do this, but I'm actually going to do that and I'm going to be better for it. Last but not least, my love. Rule number 7 is to introduce what I like to call embodiment triggers. These are basically little anchors or triggers that remind you to snap back into the version of you that you are embodying. It's very normal for us to forget that and fall into old habits and the neurological pathways that we've carved over and over and over of the old self with the old habits. It's okay for you to kind of like fall back into that because we are creatures of habit and that's who we were being for years. But now that we have set the intention and made the decision to embody someone new and to be someone different, we can use a little bit of help and some little reminders, and they can be so simple. My water bottle, every single time I'm holding that bottle, I just feel like a hydrated girl, like a healthy, happy, hydrated girl. I just feel like literally that girl. It's just a water bottle. I don't know why. Something about that water bottle just makes me feel like that girl. Something about a freaking matching set from Lululemon, which I at this point I have purchased in every single color, those little cropped Nulu jackets. I just wear them over and over and over and they just make me feel like that girl. Weirdly enough, having my hair and makeup done for some very strange reason makes me want to go to the gym at the end of the day. Like there's just something about being put together that makes me feel like the type of person that stays put together and takes care of myself. I don't care. There's no shame in whatever it is for you, my love. Maybe it's a background you put on your phone. Maybe like me, it's a little vision board that you hang up in your room. Maybe it's a journal prompt that you journal every single day, or like a 5-minute journal that snaps you back into the grateful, present version of yourself. Whatever it is, I would highly, highly, highly recommend, as you are entering 2025, a brand new bitch, someone that you're proud of, as you are embodying, not becoming, but embodying that version of you. Set a couple little physical embodiment triggers that will just keep you reminded of who you've committed to be from here on out. I am so excited for you. I don't think you understand. You will never be the same after this. I promise if you follow these 7 steps, you will never freaking be the same. And I would highly encourage you to find some way of documenting this, whether it's like your own personal video diary or little journal entries. Find a way to document the transformation that is about to come over the next 90 days. Come spring of 2025, or whenever you're watching this, 90 days from now, 3 months from now, you are going to look back on who you were when you started this thing and not recognize that girl. You're gonna thank her, of course, because she was the one that decided to do this. So we're never gonna look back and look down on that version of us. No, we are going to thank her and show so much gratitude to the version of ourselves who who knew what our potential was. But yeah, it's gonna feel kind of good when you look back and you don't recognize that girl. It is going to feel kind of good when you're like, man, I didn't even realize I thought like that. I can't believe I'm rereading this past entry and I can't even believe I said certain things like that about myself, because you are going to transform so quickly that your old mindsets, old habits, old patterns are not going to resonate with the version of you that you have committed to embodying today. Please keep me posted. Please let me know how it goes. I would love, love, love for you to comment on this video. Let me know which one of these rules was your favorite. Which one are you most excited to apply? And as always, my love, I will not be asking you to like or subscribe. But what I will say is if you enjoyed this video, you absolutely have to watch this video, which basically builds upon these 7 steps and helps you embody the person that not only has the thing that you want, but also maintains it once you get it. That's going to be super important in this next chapter for you. I love you so, so, so much, my love, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.